Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're doing the extended European outlook for today's second video with the ECMWF extended model. So we're going to be going 6 weeks out, looking at mean sea level pressure, 500 millibar high anomaly temperature and precipitation anomalies for the next 6 weeks. It'll get us pretty much to the end of July, I think, possibly even into the start of August. So we're going to go a long way out with this, and I shall get on with it for you in a moment. To say that all long-range forecasting is experimental, so any forecast beyond 5-7 days comes with big health warnings attached. And large pinches of salt are needed. Just what the model is showing today, but it could look, really quite different when we look at it again on Friday, which we always have a look on Friday or Saturday. So we look at this twice a week. We like to do a European outlook with this model on a Tuesday, always on a Tuesday. Except when we don't do it, as we haven't for the past few weeks, and then we look at it again on when updates on a Thursday night, and that's usually either on a Friday or a Saturday, and that just focuses on the UK and Ireland. Anyway, I'll get on with your extended European outlook in a moment. Just say that first video was our 6 AM upload, and we've also got 10 to 14 day up with all of regular features coming to you later on this afternoon. Please like, share, subscribe on videos. Thank you so much, everybody. For doing that. Right, here we go then. We're going to start off with the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly. It's going to take us from the 20th to the 27th of June. Let's have a look at this one then. So, low pressure can be dominating across many parts of Europe, actually, particularly the west and the northwest of Europe. It looks like there's an upper level sort of trough covering most parts of Europe, actually. Rather bizarre looking pattern. High pressure is pulled out into the middle of the Atlantic. Let's have a look at the 500 millibar high dump. So this looks a little bit more sensible. We've got a trough of below average heights in the North Atlantic and extending down the western side of Europe. At the same time, there is a ridge, actually, within the 500 millibar flow across southern and southeastern parts of Europe, and also to some degree, probably weakening though, across Scandinavia, big high pressure in the Atlantic. So the jet stream would be doing something probably a little bit like that. So this is going to pull up the hottest air, I would have thought, into central and eastern parts of Europe, with the coolest air probably going down into the far north and west of Europe. So this is how the temperature anomaly is shaping up. So the far west is actually quite cool. Ireland, western parts of France, particularly down Spain and Portugal, below average temperatures there. Also quite cool towards the Black Sea and northwards to the Ukraine. Otherwise, in between though, really quite warm from Scandinavia through many central western parts of Europe, Germany, Poland, for example, looking pretty warm. And the hottest weather is right through the central part of the Mediterranean. Let's just overlay temperature scale. So the hottest temperatures like through the central part of the Med, Corsica, Sardinia, Italy, around the Adriatic shores of the Balkans. Very severe temperature anomaly around 3 to 6 degrees above average. So pretty hot through the central swathe of Europe. Far west is looking cooler, and as is the extreme eastern part. Precipitation-wise, for this week, we look like that. Again, let's just overlay the temperature scale. So, once again, we find that it's pretty wet across these western areas. So, from northern parts of Spain and Portugal, particularly into France, and also into southern parts of Germany, just into the low countries as well. Wetter than average conditions through here. Further north, it's drier than normal around Scandinavia and through the Baltic Sea, far northeast Europe, and also parts of the UK and Ireland, just a little bit drier than average there too. The eastern part of Europe looks rather on the dry side, as does the southeastern part of Mediterranean. Mediterranean is quite interesting, actually, as it does look quite wet through the western part of the Med, like eastern parts of Spain, which is very unusual actually for this time of year, a little bit wetter than average, as is the Balearic Islands and Corsica. No, what I'm talking about, as in the Balearic Islands of Mallorca, Minorca, and Ibiza. Bear with me, I haven't done this for quite a few weeks. So, yeah, that's quite unusual this time of the year to be a little bit wet through the western part of the Med. Mind you, on the eastern part of the Mediterranean, it's mainly drier than average from Italy down towards Greece in particular. Right, so that's week 1 done. Let's have a look at week 2. This will be the 27th of June to the 4th of July. That's how we're looking then. So high pressure probably strengthening across the eastern and northeastern part of Europe. Still some low pressure out to the northwest. This is probably like a heat low down here. 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. Now this isn't quite so good for Western Europe, so places like UK and Ireland under a trough of low pressure in the 500 millibar flow. Ridge is extending up from the Mediterranean all the way up the eastern side of Europe and into the north as well. With a ridge out here, trough through there by the way, around Canada, so we can follow a jet stream pattern through actually here, right way from Canada. Jet stream will be doing something a little bit like that from Canada all the way to Russia, with this trough of low just there. Not really often that you can follow a jet stream pattern as easy as that, but that's the kind of thing that will be going on with the jet stream there. Anyway, the temperature anomaly looks like this, so still pretty cool in the extreme west, Ireland, UK, western parts of France, much of France, down into far north and west Spain, Portugal, slightly below average temperature there. Meanwhile, hotter than average through the central east part of Med, and then this heat extends up through central, eastern and northeastern parts of Europe. So much of the northeast of Europe, for example, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, those areas looking pretty warm, as is much of the eastern part of Europe as well, until we get to Black Sea, where it turns a little bit cooler then through there. And Mediterranean-wise, possibly warming up a bit into parts of Spain, particularly central Spain. Most of the Mediterranean looking warm or hot. The extreme eastern part of Med, perhaps slightly cooler. Precipitation-wise, week 2 looks like that. So the wettest weather is in the northwest, through Scandinavia, down into the UK and Ireland, rather above average precipitation through those areas. Otherwise, it's average to drier than average, pretty dry across most parts of the Mediterranean, much of Eastern Europe coming out significantly drier than normal too. Right, week 3 will be the 4th to the 11th of July. We look like this. So some lower pressure then in the eastern part of the Med. Again, that's probably just a heat low, might not produce much in the way of precipitation due to time of year. High pressure from the Azores begin to ridge in towards the western part of Europe. There's no particular low pressure going on in the north of Europe, but I would assume the jet stream probably is coming through here, something a little bit like that. Let's have a look at 500 millibar. Height anomaly looks like this. So again, we see a bit of a trough there in the North Sea around Denmark. Otherwise, no particularly evident ridge, I don't think. So that one looks a little bit mysterious actually. The temperature anomaly for week 3 looks like that. Still hints, I think, at being a little bit on the cooler side in the far west and northwest Europe. The hottest weather looks like it's for the south and for the eastern part of Europe. So southern and eastern Europe look quite warm or hot, cooler. And, you know, as it's 3 weeks out, it remains to be seen how cool, but cooler out towards the west and to the northwest. And for precipitation, looks like that. So, still a little bit on the western side through Scandinavia in particular. Possibly back into the parts of the UK, but that's a little bit more speculative. Drier down towards France, Spain, Portugal. The Azores side could be starting to make a move into the far west, southwest Europe. Otherwise, not much of a signal, maybe relatively dry through there, but not much of a signal by week 3. Week 4 will be the 11th to the 18th of July. What am I doing? And it looks like that. So I'm just going to put in a couple of question marks, actually, for week 4, as it's not particularly clear what's going on in terms of mean sea level pressure anomaly. 500 millibar height anomaly also not all that clear. So again, let's just put in some question marks. There is a bit of a hint of some northern blocking ground there in the Norwegian Sea, some higher pressure. So that's not normally very good news in the middle of summer. Temperature-wise, it looks hottest still across the southern, eastern, southeastern areas. Further north and west, it's all a little bit sketchy. And that's the precipitation on week 4. Again, very, very weak signal by this point. Week 5 will be the 18th to the 25th of July. Again, not much to be working with. There's the Azores high, I think. So that is down around the Azores, but not much time. It's ridging north, actually. There's some lower pressure through here. So, do you put in the jet stream maybe there? Oh, I think you just put in a question mark. 500 millibar height only for week 5. Again, looking pretty serious. There is a ridge over on the eastern side of Europe. That will bring up the hottest there at the eastern side of Europe. But where are the troughs of low? There's got to be troughs. There's got to be some low pressure somewhere. Is that in the west of Europe? maybe. The temperature anomaly for week 5 looks warmer though through most parts of Europe. Actually, even back into the west, we start to pull up some of this heat. So maybe by the middle of July, we start to turn things more widely warm or hot across many parts of Europe. Again, the core of the heat and the warmth looks like it should be central eastern area, but it looks like that warmth could well be back in towards the western part of Europe. And the week 5 precipitation anomaly, again, not so much of a signal, but maybe just a slight hint of going a bit drier. So I think this could be a drier, hotter week, actually, by the time we get into week 5. And then finally, week 6 will be the 25th of July to the first day of August. Yes, we do get into August with this update. Let's have a look then. So then, just, again, quite mysterious, lower pressure across many parts of Europe. Perhaps a bit of high pressure around Iceland. Otherwise, not all that clear what's going on. 500 millibar highs only hints at a bit of northern blocking appearing there by the end of July around Greenland. That could start to send the jet stream southwards, but again, it's a very, very weak signal. Temperature anomaly looks relatively warm, so it does look like late July probably does turn warmer or hotter across most parts of Europe. And then finally, that's a precipitation anomaly for week 6. And again, very sketchy, weak signal, but perhaps seems to be a bit dry. So I think the last couple of weeks of July might turn a little bit dry and hotter. And by the way, we're past the 30-day forecast period at this point, so it's all very speculative. But might hint that by late July, you do turn things a little bit drier and hotter across most parts of Europe. But before that, first half of July, probably looking a little bit on the mix and cool side, if anything. Right, okay, so that's the external European outlook, 30-day forecast, /6 weeks, okay, for Europe with the external ECM model. We'll do it all over again next Tuesday, and as I say, it's all speculation, it's all just a thumb, so it could look very different by the time we look at this next week. And we'll have another look at this model on Friday or Saturday, and that will have a focus on the UK and on Ireland as well. Right, going to be back later on with 10 to 14 day. That's going to include all operating features. Come back for that one then for this week's European Outlook Extended. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.